Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a decision that can literally make or break your startup right from the very beginning. Where do you get that first all-important check?
So, you've got the big idea, right? You've got the passion, the drive, maybe even a clunky prototype. But to turn that vision into a reality, you need cash and you need support. And that puts you at a huge fork in the road. Do you go with an angel investor or an accelerator? And what's the real cost of that decision?
All right, let's get into it. Here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the dilemma every founder faces. Then we'll break down the key players. After that, we'll dig into the real cost of their money, see how it messes with your future, and then, this is the good part, we'll talk about a much more powerful way to do things.
When you're just starting out, you hear two terms over and over and over: angel investors and accelerators. They both promise to give you the fuel you need to get off the ground. But here's the thing. They both want a piece of your dream, a piece of your company. And if you're not careful, that piece can end up being a lot bigger than you ever imagined.
Okay, so let's really define what we're talking about here. What does each of these options actually bring to the table? Because they might sound kind of similar, but believe me, their approach, how they're structured, and what they demand in return are worlds apart.
And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? On one side, you've got angel investors. It's a personal relationship. It's based on their gut feeling about you. There's no set playbook. On the other side, you have accelerators. Think of it like a machine, a system, a highly structured program designed to grow companies fast. One is a person, the other is a process.
So an angel investor, this is someone who is literally investing their own money. They're writing a check from their personal bank account. And yeah, the upside can be huge. They might bring incredible connections and believe in you when no one else does. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Every single angel is different. You might get a world-class mentor, or you might get a ghost who takes 10% of your company and you never hear from them again. It's a gamble.
Now, an accelerator, that's a completely different beast. It's like a high-intensity boot camp for your startup. You're in a cohort with other founders for a few months, you get mentorship, and it all leads up to a big demo day where you pitch to a room full of investors. The price for all that? A chunk of your company, and you give it to them right on day one.
So let's talk about the real cost here, because we've got to look past the number on the check. The real cost is the equity, the ownership you're giving away. And this is where so many founders get into serious trouble without even knowing it.
This is where it gets super tricky. How much equity should you give an angel? The honest answer is, who knows? It is all over the map. There is no standard, there is no rule book, and that lack of a standard is both a huge opportunity and a massive, massive risk.
And this is really the danger zone. One angel might ask for 10% for a $50,000 check, which, by the way, is probably a terrible deal. Another might offer a founder-friendly safe note, and if you're new to this game, how are you supposed to know what's fair? You're incredibly vulnerable to taking a deal that will haunt you for years.
Accelerators are way more standardized, but that isn't always a good thing. They often take a standard cut, let's say around 7%, right off the bat. Now you might think, 7%? That's not so bad. But think about it. You're giving away that much of your company before you've had a chance to build any real leverage or prove what you're really worth. That 7% can become an incredibly expensive piece of your company later on.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Those moments when you feel the most doubt, when you're just desperate for someone to validate your idea, that is precisely when you're most likely to sign a bad deal. It's that feeling of uncertainty that makes founders so vulnerable.
Okay, so let's zoom out and look at the long-term consequences. We need to talk about your company's single most important document, your capitalization table, or cap table. It's basically the scoreboard of who owns what percentage of your business.
You absolutely have to treat your cap table like a strategic asset, because I promise you, future investors will. They will scrutinize it, they'll pick it apart looking for red flags. And one of the biggest, brightest red flags they can find is seeing that the founders gave away too much equity, too early for too little. It just screams inexperience.
And this table tells the whole story. Look at year one. You do a bad deal and suddenly 10 or 15% of your company is gone. Now fast forward to year three. You're trying to raise a real seed round from VCs. They look at this and get nervous. There isn't enough equity left to give them a meaningful stake, or to hire great employees, or even to keep you, the founder, properly motivated. You've crowded the table before the real game has even started.
And this is the cold, hard truth that every founder needs to hear. You cannot undo a bad equity deal. Giving it away is easy. It's just a signature. But getting it back, It's pretty much impossible. These are permanent decisions.
So if both paths are loaded with risk, what are you supposed to do? Is there a better way? The answer is absolutely yes. It's not about choosing between an angel and an accelerator. It's about changing the game entirely.
Because you have to realize the real cost here isn't just the percentage points on your cap table. The real cost is optionality, your future freedom to make choices. Every piece of your company you give away closes doors. It limits the kind of company you can build, the talent you can attract, and the partners who will want to come along for the ride.
So here's how you do it. This is the alternative playbook. Step 1, protect your intellectual property. Build a moat around your core tech. Step 2, tighten your strategy until it's razor sharp. And step 3, this is the most important one, stack early wins. Get a customer, ship a feature, build something real, create actual momentum. And only then do you go to step 4, raising money. But now you're doing it from a position of strength. You have leverage.
And this right here is the whole mindset shift. Your job isn't to run around trying to get picked, hoping an investor will give you permission to build your dream. Your job is to build something so compelling, so valuable, that the best investors have no choice but to compete to be a part of your journey on your terms.
So ultimately, protecting your future, your equity, and your freedom all comes down to asking this one critical question before you sign anything. It's not just what am I getting today, it's what am I giving up, and for how long? Because the answer to that second part is forever. Think about that.